Hi everyone, I have an exhaust now. So this is my eBay 421 header. It's just a random one I found. It looks pretty good. No real complaints as far as it looks. Really the only thing I'm not a huge fan of is that the outside of it isn't welded, but it's all welded on the inside. I think it'll work well. So this is the inner side. And over here you can see the part where the cat meets with the rest. Whoever had the car before me welded it shut, which is ridiculous. And then this piece over here on the other side of the cat from the header, it's completely rusted, like together. And I've tried taking this off before, but it's never worked. So what I'm gonna do is just up here towards the front, probably like right around here, I'm gonna cut it and take the top out and then take all this rest out. And then the way I think I'm going to put it back in, I'll put the back part of the exhaust on and then the header part, and then I'll put the test pipe in just to fit it properly right here. This is going to be a long cut.
2 hours later. 2,000 years later.
So finally, sorry for the delay, but I spent probably 3 or 4 hours cutting this because I don't have the right tools. I was able to get about 70 to 80% of it cut, and then I decided, you know what, let me just drop the rest of this. So I was able to use all the torque because of how long this is. I was able to use all of that to bend the last piece and break it off by just twisting it, and then I was able to very carefully maneuver this out. And now all I gotta do is take off the O2 sensor, which if you notice is really close to the head, while the other one is placed like down there. So, oh my god, I can't believe I finally did it. But I'm going to take out that O2 sensor the best I can, and then I'm going to see about trying to route it so that way it fits all the way down to there. I read up a bit, and apparently you can't really run it without an O2 sensor. Oops. You can't really run it without an O2 sensor because it'll just run really rich and not run correctly.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
So I have to be honest, this was a lot, and I'm sorry that I missed so much of it, but I finally got it to fit in. This thing is totally not made for this. Like, it's made for it, but it's definitely like a small casting or something, or they messed up something. But, so these 1 and 4 don't exactly line up, but they're off by about like 2 millimeters, I think. Which isn't terrible. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there will be the slightest bit of back pressure, but it's not a huge deal. I'm more concerned about the car running and running okay. There's nothing else I really am concerned about with it. But, so, I finally got this to fit on, and it's all pretty much snug against the head, which is good. It's all up in there. And then here, in the back, I got the rest of it in. All the mid pipe and the exhaust. Now I just need to get the test pipe in and then move the O2 sensor over, and then we're good. Hi everyone. Alright, let's do that. Hello. I have a thing that my girlfriend got me, which is this macro wide angle lens. And I think it looks cool because, you know, you could see a little bit more. I mean the downside is this like vignette on the side, or whatever it's called. I mean, if I zoom in like the slightest bit, it goes away. But I mean, then I lose some, like, I don't know. Anyways, so this is the second part, which will just be included in the whole video, of the exhaust thing, because I got so pissed off doing the exhaust that I just wanted to get it done, and it took me about 10 or 12 hours to actually do it, and I need my keys. But I'll go over what I did. Like I'll include the first couple parts I recorded, but after that, Arthur. But after that, there's nothing else really that I recorded, so I'll just go over what I did right now. All right. Alright, so the first thing. Oh my god. Okay, that's one thing I need to do. I need to adjust that frickin' brake. One day I came out and my car was in the middle of the street, which was great. Hopefully no one saw that. But yeah, I'll make a video on. Well, no, I don't need to make a video. I already made a video on that. Anyways, alright, so first thing. Let me make this a little brighter. And here's the exhaust manifold. It doesn't fit. A little brighter so you can see. So it doesn't fit properly at all. As you can see, like up there, I cut off with an angle grinder the edge of the bolt hole. I'm gonna do manual. So yeah, on the edge here I cut off the edge of the bolt hole so that way it fits properly, because it's too small this way. So yeah, it's too small this way. I think on 1 and 4, it comes in about 1 millimeter too much, and it doesn't line up with the port properly, but it's there just enough that it's not a huge deal. Like, I mean, it's not that great for the car, but it's all I have right now, and a lot of people run it without issue, so that's what I have right now. And then down there is a test pipe and everything. And then I had to extend the O2 sensor wire, which was giving me a huge issue. So as you can see right here, this isn't the original wire. Like, so this is from the harness, and I noticed that the end of this was a little bit frayed, kind of. So I ripped off the connector and took the connector apart and put a new wire in it. That's taped right here. So that goes to the old harness, and then this one goes down using an HP power cable, which actually works great. It's the same kind of material as the old one was. And then that just goes straight down underneath to where the O2 sensor is. Again, with the header was a little bit too short this way towards the front of the car, so I had to pull the exhaust back a bit from the back to line it up properly, and that, as a result, the back over here, it goes in a little bit too much. It's not a huge deal. I got the line up pretty good. But before, what was happening underneath, which I'll show, just this. So over here, right over there where the mid pipe is, the axle's right there. It's already pretty close, but I got it. I got some extended hangers from AutoZone. They're like 1/2 inch lower than the previous ones. So this hangs down a little bit more. Because of the way the test pipe comes out, it doesn't, like, so when I'm going around right corners, it turning right pretty hard, it hits the axle, and then every now and then when it bounces over a really hard bump, it hits the axle. So what I'm thinking is, maybe since there's holes in there, I can probably put some like stiff material in there and then hold it in there with zip ties, not like touching the metal or anything. But just so that way it's like acts like a bump stop, so that way when it tries to go up, it doesn't really hit that, and then over here it'll be fine. But yeah, one thing I was considering was cutting the bumper today. I might do that. I've always wanted to do it, and I've been getting a little more motivation to do it, considering especially the Car Passion channel just posted a video on how to do it, so it gives me a little more motivation. But yeah, oh yeah, before I did the hangers, I used zip ties, which eventually melted, but it was ridiculous. I mean, I'm glad with the way it sounds, which I'll post a clip here in a minute after I do what I need to do. But yeah, it was worth the work. It's very cheap, so it's expected. It was $276 to, you know, do that. So I'm not complaining. It works well. But yeah, and also I got a partial refund for, I got like $35 back of the 91 because he said, the guy that I was talking to said, oh, we can't give you the full refund unless we send it back. So I got him to give me a $35 refund to cover most of the cost of the angle grinder and stuff I had to buy to modify it. So that was pretty cool. Got the money back on that. And yeah, one other thing I noticed when I was doing the O2 sensor, oh my god, I got a check engine light, which I was like, okay, so I went through 3 different wires on the O2 sensor, and then I modified a connector and it still didn't work. And my girlfriend's sitting there and she's like, did you forget to do anything else? Like, there's no way it can be that. So I was sitting there, the car like barely running, I can barely give a throttle. I jump out of the car, and this was unplugged the whole time. Plug it in and rev the hell out of it. It ran fine. Yeah, and that's pretty much the whole exhaust story. And then now I'll do some little things I wanted to do. Okay. So I kind of jacked up the car the wrong way, but so this part right here, if you can listen, it's hitting against the power plant frame or whatever for the transmission and the differential. And one thing I'm going to try is, I already tried cutting half of that hanger right there, and I'm just going to see if cutting the other hanger will do anything. Alright, so that did absolutely nothing. It didn't change anything, there's nothing different about it. I did think about cutting the flange on this, like on the edge, like this part on the other side, just grind it down a little bit so it doesn't hit against that, but I don't know, I might just like find some rubber hose that I can put on the frame so that way it doesn't like hit against it, because the hose should be able to hold up to whatever, you know, heat it has, but I mean, I don't know. And just another point of reference. See, like right there where it gets close to the differential in the axle. I'm sorry, it's on an angle. I can get a better angle. Alright, so now that I have the car off the ground, what I think I'm gonna do is grind that on that flange on the other side that's touching the power plant thing or whatever. I'm gonna grind it from that side and just get enough off to where it doesn't hit. I noticed that the exhaust might move a little bit that way, which might be okay. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'll just grind that off and see what it does. So I'm pretty much done with what I did. I'll go over what I did real quick. As you can see over here, I grinded out that part of the power plant frame. I mean, I did a little bit of an excess over here. I don't know why I did that, but I got most of it over here, which is a big deal. I can put the whole finger in there and can't really go over more than that because of something I did in the back. And then I grinded out some of the flange over here, like on the edge of it, and a little bit of the frame, so that way it doesn't rub over there, which is all good. Over here, you could probably see how close it is to the to the axle and the differential right here. I mean, it's pretty close now, but it's not really, let me see. It is still pretty close, but it's not really that close enough to really do any damage. Okay. Alright, and then back here what I did, I used the dies. So this piece, there's an exhaust hanger here off of the tip that doesn't really do anything. So I was able to put a zip tie here to prevent it from moving to the left too much that way and hitting the bumper, which actually grinded a little bit off before. And I can just barely fit a finger in there, which is good. You can't really see this cut here. It's not huge unless you really look at it. And then this one here is the major one. This one prevents it from going up too much, which is the main thing preventing this from flying up. And then the last thing I did was I took a rubber piece off of one of the old hangers, drilled a hole through it, and put a zip tie on it to prevent the exhaust from hitting the mount for the tow strap, or the tow hook. These rubber ones are made to handle heat, obviously, since they're connected to the exhaust hanger over here. And I drill a hole through that and put it there, so that way it doesn't do anything. The zip tie might melt a little bit, but I'm not too worried about that. Another thing I did over here, the last thing I did is this exhaust hanger. It doesn't do much, but it does kind of prevent it from moving up a little bit. So what I did is I had an old piece of metal and I cut it and folded it and I put it inside the exhaust hanger and zip tied it just to make sure it wouldn't fall out. It kind of acts like a bump stop. Alright, well I accidentally hit the off button. So anyways, it acts like a bump stop so that way it doesn't go all the way up. This one wasn't working too well, but it still does something a little bit. So that's going to stay like that, and that's pretty much it for the bottom. I mean, I haven't really started it up, but it won't really move at all. Like, it's pretty hard for me to move it like this as it is, even the mid-pipe section over here. But yeah, it's all pretty solid, and then I'll do a quick little startup just so you can hear what it's like. And I'll compare it to how the old one was. Hi everyone. Is this awkward for you?
No.
It's not awkward for you?
No.
Hi everyone, we're here at Miatas the Gap. It's already been 3 days. We got here Tuesday and we wanted to relax and not record anything, so here we are. And yeah, we're gonna go to Fontana, hang out a little bit, and then we're gonna go on the A&W run. I also have footage from the Sunset run, so I'll throw that in.
I've let them go.
dragon, right?
I don't know.
And you were on this once before.
I think it was for the. We did take this to the sunrise. And now we catch up. Probably move it up close to your shoulder.